My name is Sharea Adams. Thank you for attending my session. I am very happy to be here talking to you guys, sharing some tips and tricks on how to manage and raise a large family. I myself am the mother of a large family. I have 7 children, ranging between the ages of 8 months and 10 years old. I've been married for 11 years, and I'm telling you, it's been a trip. It's been a ride. It's been a roller coaster. A lot of ups and downs all around, flips, turns, and all that. So what I'm here to do is to help you learn how to raise and manage and control all of that. Get your house moving and swooving and all that, get it going. So let me first tell you that you are not alone. Okay, I understand those moments of frustration where the house is a wreck and the kids are running around and the baby is crying and you're just trying to collect your thoughts and not lose it. Example, right now, I'm trying to get these babies down. I got one that won't go to sleep. My kids keep interrupting me, coming in and out of here while I'm trying to film. And I'm just really trying to get this done for you guys. I get it. I've been there. Sometimes I still go there. But I've learned these tips and tricks along the way to help me manage and regain myself to help run my household smoothly. Now, in the beginning, was not so easy. I had my first child, and then it seemed like immediately after that I had another one, and it seemed immediately after that I had another one. So my kids are like a year and 3 months apart. My older 3. I have 7, by the way. Yeah, 7. And like I said, it hasn't been easy the whole time. But I had a lady from church, actually. I'll never forget her. And she taught me some valuable lessons as far as raising a large family. I believe she had 10 kids. And here I was struggling with 3 in the beginning. And she was letting me know that, I wasn't losing it. My feelings were normal. My fears were normal. My emotions were normal. And that helped me out a lot, knowing for one that I wasn't alone, and for 2, losing my mind was actually normal. So, however, throughout all the years of me being a mom, I have learned and gained some knowledge on how to handle my home and just basically keep it running and keep it flowing. So I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, so one of the most important things about raising and managing a family is scheduling and routine, of which the most impactful thing that I came up with was having a command center. A command center is a focal point in your house that you created that everyone can come to and see what's going on during the day. In your command center, it can be anywhere. It can be on the door, on your refrigerator, on a wall, a corner of your house, and in it you're going to have a calendar. You're going to have maybe a dry erase board or, a cork board where you can pin things on there, such as those pink slips that come in the mail you don't want to forget to pay. You can have your grocery list on there. As soon as you run out of milk or sugar, for some reason, we are constantly running out of ketchup in my house. I don't know why, but ketchup stays on the must-buy list. Oh, you know what? It's nice to have some motivational little quote or something on that wall too. Like, you can do it. Family is everything. I don't know. #blessed. Whatever, that you want to put on there, something to keep you motivated throughout the. On my command center, or in my command center, I also have a chore chart, and this is something that I actually want to discuss. Something else that's going to help you with your routine and your scheduling and managing your home is having or delegating task. Delegating task is like the best thing for large families, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to have older children that can help out with things around the house. It can also help with the younger children. And this is paramount. And it also teaches the children responsibility. Not only do we have a chore chart, which kind of looks like this, or does look like this. Our chore chart looks like this, and it's on our command center. Their names, the chores would be here, like kitchen, bathroom, living room or whatnot. The chores would be on here. And on the days of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll have their initial. Like I said, we have a ton of children, but the older ones are usually scheduled on the chore chart. So even the kids know, like, to after breakfast, they come to the command center and see what their chore is that day, and they get that done. And they have a certain amount of time to get it done in, because if not, it's just going to be doing it all day, taking their sweet time, you know what I mean? And there's a ton of stuff that has to be done that day. So, now, like I said, they don't want to be just doing things and then becoming resentful of it. So, we came up with an incentive system, and we have a reward chart on our command center. It looks like this, and again, their names would be listed here. And on our reward chart, they have to fill this up with stickers. Their row will be filled with stickers, and once they fill up their sticker, then they can get a reward, whether it be a toy from the Dollar Tree. I don't care how old your kids are. Adults love the Dollar Tree, so they're going to love it regardless. So once this thing gets filled up and they take a trip to the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, they can get a reward for having it filled up. And then all you got to do is just, like, clear the board and start over again, or print another one, stick it on your wall, start over again, or whatnot. Another prize can be, we live down the street from, like, a corner store, so we can walk down there when it's filled up and they can buy a treat. They can get one of them quarter cakes. Y'all remember them quarter cakes? Or, well, it ain't quarter no more. It's like 59 cents or whatever. So they go down there, get one of them little Debbie cakes, one of them Swiss rolls, one of them brownie pie things. Y'all remember those, right? So we can go down there and get one of those. Either way, they love getting stickers. Stickers are going to be like, I don't know. It's going to be your biggest asset as far as getting those kids to do whatever you tell them to do, and getting things done. Oh, I want to mention the chore chart, right? I don't know if y'all had this problem, but if y'all do, allow me to address this, because this was another paramount moment. When the kids would have chores, like my oldest daughter, let's say she has to do the kitchen or whatever, and it was getting to the point where I was just like, look, if something ain't done, something gonna happen. Like, she would ask me every time it was her turn to do the kitchen, which was like 3 times a week. She would come in here and ask me, Mom, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next. I put the dishes away. I don't know what to do next. I washed the dishes. I don't know what to do next. And in my mind, I'm just like, what do you mean you don't know what to do next? You do it like 3 times a week. And every single time she comes and tells me or asks me, I don't know what to do next. It was driving me crazy. So what I had did is I came up with each room has printed instructions stuck on the wall somewhere. And the kitchen is stuck on the refrigerator. Exactly what you need to do. Number 1, either put the dishes away, or for some, empty the dishwasher, wash the dishes, spray, wipe down the counters, clean the stove, take out the trash, sweep the floor, whatever. It was an instructed list on what to do in that particular room. There was another one in the bathroom. There was one in the living room. There was even one in the hallway, on the stairs, like whatever their designated area was to clean. As far as their chores, there was a list somewhere in there that directed them on how to get the job done. Paramount game changer. They was no longer in my face asking me every 5 minutes, well, what do I do next? I don't know what to do. I'm telling you, you do that, it's going to save your sanity. Something else you want to do that can be done through your command center is synchronize your time and your scheduling with your spouse. You guys have to be on the same page, or things are going to just go down in the dumps, and it's going to be very chaotic if you and your spouse are not on the same page. I have done this plenty of times. Sometimes I still do it. I overbook, and then we're scrambling trying to figure out, oh my God, we need to get a babysitter, or one of us has to not work today, or we have to cancel this doctor's appointment because I forgot to write down that the kids had a doctor's appointment. Again, I'm a writer. I have to write things down. And what I would do is I would put it in my phone calendar and then forget. Until the doctor, sends you one of those little reminder texts or calls you and be like, hey, you got an appointment tomorrow. Just want to know if you can still make it or not. And then you're like, oh my God, I got to figure out what to do now because I botched it. So, so to avoid that, write in the command center on the calendar what you both have going on that week. As soon as you get your doctor's appointment, you go to your doctor's appointment and they schedule your next appointment for a blah blah date. Immediately I put it in my calendar on my phone, and I also text it to myself because I'll always check my text message. So I text it to myself, so when I get home, I remember, oh, let me put this on my calendar. So yeah, on my command center. So yeah, again, the command center is amazing. In the mornings, my husband check it, I check it, my kids check it. They check to see what their chores are. They check to see how many points or stickers they are away from, getting that Dollar Tree prize or that quarter cake. Yeah, so it's going to be a real game changer for you. I can almost guarantee it. Something else that is important, very important, is scheduling time for yourself. Now, this was something I actually didn't think I needed, but it turns out I really did. I don't know what you want. I know there's a term for it, but I am very particular on how I want things. And I don't like to delegate, like even giving the kids chores. I was kind of forced upon me because I was just, okay, something has to be done. Something has to change. But, solo time was something I didn't want to do because I felt like things wouldn't get done if I did it, if I took it. My husband had to convince me to take a day off once a week, which is something that was actually necessary and I didn't know I needed. So again, we work with each other's schedules, and once a week I take off and he stays home with the kids and helps manages and runs things here. So for the kids, everything is still running according to plan because you don't want to have any hiccups, mess up the whole flow and system that you guys have that you run on, causing chaos and confusion all over again. So to keep the flow of our house moving, my husband will fill in for me that day. He'll be the substitute teacher. The kids are all happy and excited, and I get to go off and have my day off. And during this time, you cannot be working. I almost fell into that trap of thinking, oh, well, I have this time off so I can get this done and get this done because I don't have any kids distracting me and stuff. That's not what that day is for. That day is for you to take a mental break, and for your kids to have a break from you. They're probably tired of seeing you all the time too. Just like you're tired of being there with them. They're probably tired of having you there all the time. So it's a little bit of a necessary break from everyone or for everyone. And during that time, like I said, don't work. If you can, unless it's absolutely necessary, don't work. Take that time to do something for you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, get your nails done, get your hair did. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. I mean, my first day off, I drove to Maryland and I went to Hobby Lobby and a huge Dollar Tree. And I was in heaven. And I was in there for hours, uninterrupted, just scowling Hobby Lobby, loving every minute of it, and that's just something for me. However, if it is it's your thing to get your hair and nails done or whatever, go ahead and do that and relax. It's necessary. And when you come back, you're all rejuvenated and happy, and the kids are happy to see you. Your spouse appreciates you a lot more because they understand what you go through. Now, as far as solo time, you do want to take that day off. But to steal solo time throughout the week, not just on your day off, for me personally, what I do is I wake up before everyone else. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I know that seems extreme, but let me explain something. There's some kind of peace that happens at 5 o'clock, waking up before everyone else while it's still dark. You can get so much accomplished in an hour, because everyone else here seems to wake up around 6. So you can get so much done within an hour, and just having that peace of being alone that you can't get done throughout the rest of the day. You just can't. For one, for me personally, I start my morning off with prayer. Having that solo time uninterrupted with God is essential for me. I like to try to exercise, getting a little bit of time in there because I'm not going to be able to exercise throughout the day. Now, granted, my exercise is only about 10-15 minutes, but it's enough to wake me up, get the blood pumping a little bit, and that's probably all I got in me. Either way, it happens. It goes down. Don't judge me. Get some self-improvement videos during that time. If I'm lucky, I might get a scripture reading or something I could read real quick. So even stealing that little bit of time in the morning can put you on a positive note, because the rest of the day you're going to have a bunch of people in your face, so having that little bit of time to yourself in the morning, getting that day started, is essential for me, and I think it might be beneficial to you as well, getting your mind clear and ready to face the day. Another moment of time you can steal for yourself is nap time. If your kids don't take naps, let me tell you, I don't know how you're doing it. It's necessary, not only for these kids, because they need to get that rest. If not, they become crabby and whiny. I don't know. I'm sure it's not just my kids, and I'm sure you notice other people's kids too. Look at them like, that kid need to take a nap. Put that kid to sleep. And they get on your nerves bad enough, I'm going to put that kid to sleep. But anyway, I digress. During that time, I get to read. I actually will read my Bible, or I'll read one of my little self-help books, or, I read a lot of fringe books, like weird end of the world stuff, or scientific, Dr. Moreau stuff, weird stuff. But either way, it's boring enough for the kid to doze right off to it. And I get my reading done that I wanted to get done. I catch up on a good book during nap time, just reading to them. During that nap time, I know you're probably thinking, well, what about the older kids? What are they going to be doing? They're going to be distracting, being loud, waking up the little kids and stuff like that. No, because during that time, if your kids are are probably off at school, if they go to public school, and if they're homeschooled, then you could use that time for them to get done work that they didn't get to finish in class, or they could do homework if they have it. I know that sounds contradictory, or weird, homeschool, having homework, but there's an allotted time set for school. And if they don't get stuff done during that time, like I said, because we are on schedule and routine, there's a time allotted for homeschool. If stuff is not done during that time, they can finish it later. It works better for me that way, having a schedule. I don't suggest just like going willy-nilly and just randomly doing things. It doesn't function well, at least not from my experience and from other people's experience that I've encountered. All right, something else that we should talk about that I think is one of the most important things is family time. Family time is another essential thing that needs to happen, that needs to be done. And you're probably thinking, when am I going to find time for family time? I have so much to do. I have so much to get done, but you're never too busy for family time. You're not. Now, I know a lot of us this day and age are constantly busy. At least it seems that way. I mean, there's 168 hours in a week, and during that time, you're working. The kids are going to school. The kids have after-school activities. You might be going back to school or in school, church, and, all kinds of things that's taking up the 168-hour week thing. However, did you know that the average person spends about 3 hours on their cell phones daily? 3 hours daily on their cell phone. That is 21 hours a week that a person could spend on their cell phone. These are the adults. We're not even talking about the kids that have cell phones that are on there probably 2 or 3 times as much a day. You can find time to spend time with your family. Your kids can find time to spend time with you. Just cut the phones off. And you'll have 3 hours that day to interact with each other. You can afford 1 day a week. 1 day a week. And out of that 1 day, 1 or 2 hours just dedicated to each other as a family. Us personally, we take 1 night a week and we have family night. We will watch a movie that night, or we'll make crafts that night. We had a craft night that was really fun. The kids enjoyed it. We made puppets out of brown paper bags. That was really fun. We made piggy banks out of recyclable stuff like milk carton, oatmeal cartons and stuff like that. We made piggy banks. They loved it. We had fun. I had fun. My husband had fun. It was a good time. It was a good moment in memory we shared together as a family, building that unit, making it strong, making that bond strong. And during that time, you guys could be talking about stuff that probably wouldn't come up later. We had game night once. You can invite other family members. My brother came to game night once and we played Family Feud, and the kids thought it was a hoot. It was hilarious. We had a good time. We had art night. We had paint night where we all dressed up in they have dress up clothes or whatever, and we pretended we was fancy and just had a paint night. That should be penciled on that command center, on that calendar as a weekly event. Hands down, nothing interrupted. Us personally, we have been having family night every single week for the past 8 years. Never skipped it once. Never skipped a week. One time of family time. Paramount decision we've made. Another way you could sneak in family time is maybe some Bible studies here and there. We don't really have it scheduled. We don't have it scheduled like we have a family time scheduled once a week, but we do sneak it in there when we see something come up that we see the kids do, and it's just like, oh, that was wrong. That wasn't good. We can address that issue by calling family Bible study. I think once we heard the girls arguing, saying some really mean things to each other. We was able to come together and make it seem like it was spontaneous. Hey, let's have a Bible study, talk about some things, so we turn to a scripture where, Jesus is saying, even saying raka to your brother is, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, you get my drift, hopefully. Birthdays. Now, when you have a ton of kids, it's hard to address each one individually. They're all trying to get your time. I feel so sorry for my husband because, they all jump on him at the same time. They all want to get that special time with Dad because, Dad's working all the time. They're with me all day. But when Dad comes home, it's like, oh, Dad. And they're all trying to be in his face and stuff like that. And it's hard to address. You have 7 kids you're trying to, for us, that you're trying to give that solo time and attention to. And we don't want anyone to get lost in the cracks. And so with birthdays are like holidays in our house. Now, we don't do holidays really, but for birthdays, everything shuts down like a government holiday in this house. There's no chores that day. There's no school that day, which is a benefit to homeschool. You can kind of, work your own schedule. Everything is about that child on that day. And something we do in our house is the siblings all get each other a gift. And what I mean by that is that we take them to the Dollar Tree and allow them to, and it's by choice. They don't have to spend their money. They use their own money. They don't have to spend their money to get their siblings a gift, but they usually want to. And they'll come to the dollar store. We keep it modest and allow them to pick something out for one of their siblings. It gives them a chance to me, it showed me how much they actually really do care for each other. Not by just simply buying them a gift, because they knew what that person would want. They knew what their little brother would have loved to have, and they got it. And it meant something to them because they got it themselves with money that they earned. So we teach our kids to give. So one other thing that we do with birthdays is shared parties. Now, we have 7 kids. I keep saying that because it's the truth. We have 7 kids, and having 7 individual parties can be taxing. So, like say November, we have 2 kids with birthdays in November, 3 kids with birthdays in December. So we do like a joint party. And for me, it's a load off of me just doing it together. And they usually have around the same interests, so we just find a common theme that they both can agree on and share a joint birthday party, which they really don't have a problem doing. Something else included in family time is daddy and daughter days. Again, like I said, they're with mom all day. So when they get that individual time with their father, it is something special. Man, you should see their faces. What? I'm going to work with dad today? Yay. Or, recently my daughter, one of our middle children, went out for ice cream with her father this past weekend. And oh my God. She was on cloud 9. She was talking about it all week. Saturday, me and Dad are doing this. Oh, I can't wait for Saturday. Did you guys hear me and Dad Saturday? Oh my God, all week. And then they went out and they came back, and it was just, she just had so much, nothing but good things to talk about and brag about. She loved it. So when my husband does that with our children, I think that's something phenomenal. And I think a lot of dads should take that time. I don't care. I know sons need their fathers, but daughters do too, man. And it was something special. Now I'm sure when my sons get a little older, they'll have their, daddy or son day and stuff like that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. But just spending that alone time with dad means something. So that's something. Now, they spend time with dad, on solo time, but they spend time with mom too. So when Keith, my husband, works late, me and the girls, like I said, I have 5 daughters. We have female empowerment nights. So what we will do is we will get a bunch of snacks, hang out on the couch that night. We'll find a movie with a strong female lead that usually has a moral to the story. So we spend that time together for female empowerment night. And then we discuss it. And sometimes they open up and tell me about things that's going on in their life or how they related to that character in the story. So that opens up a door for us to communicate as women and be able to, I guess, dish and, have girl talk or whatever. Something else of importance is taking family vacations. Now, don't lose your hat off of this. I know you're thinking, I have 5 kids. I have 7 kids. I have 10 kids. I cannot afford to take a family vacation. But you can. And it's important that you do. I honestly suggest taking somewhere, being surrounded by nature. There's an energy just being out in the open. I don't care if it's the woods. I would suggest somewhere like a foresty area just because there's less people and it gives you more time to connect with nature and connect with your family. Just something where you guys can just be together. And I don't want to say isolated together, but somewhere where you guys can be spending time together outside of the house for a day or two and declaring that a family vacation. All right, let's talk about hubby and wife time. It needs to happen. All right, so I know with our busy schedules, it is hard for us to really connect with our spouses and be able to have that alone time and intimate time together. However, I'm going to tell you how you can steal time together. One of which is nighttime. Have the kids on a schedule where they go to bed at a certain time. Even if it's just them winding down at 6, turn off the lights at 7, and maybe turn the TV off at 8. I don't know. Some kind of schedule where there's a wind down and then there's, okay, good night. Don't bother me for the rest of the night. Night, snoozes, okay? Like, whatever you need to do to get them to stay on a schedule where they go to bed and that's it. Don't bother mom and dad no more tonight. And during that time, you guys can sit and reflect, be able to talk about your day, be able to talk about things you need to do the next day. You guys can synchronize schedules, talk about what you got going on. You guys get to vent to each other about how the kids was getting on your nerves, how the boss is getting on his or her nerves. And, y'all can just have those laughing moments or whatever you need to do. Just ending your day with your spouse is nice. Also, a lot of people have date nights. We're pretty busy. Most of the time when you have a large family, you don't really get to get out and have date nights like that because you got a million kids and nobody really wants to sit there and watch your million kids. So when you do get those date nights, cherish them and tip your babysitter well. Or buy Nana flowers or, Mima or Mama, whoever's watching the kids for you. Tip them well, buy them flowers, get them a gift card or something because sitting there with somebody else's million kids is taxing. If you can't get date nights, there's something I like to call dine-in dinners. And again, at nighttime when the kids are, off to bed, order some takeout. You guys just got to stay up that night and y'all get to hash it out, have fun. Watch some Saturday Night Live, I don't know, together and just, enjoy the moment together, dining in and having a couple of chuckles or watch a good flick on Netflix or, wherever. But I think that's essential to end your day with your boo or just finding those little moments that you can sneak in time together. That's good. Something my husband and I do is we take anniversary vacations. Let me tell you why this is important. You can take a vacation anytime, but I like to emphasize the anniversary vacations because it commemorates the day that you guys decided to dedicate your lives together. And I think it's good to keep commemorating that every year, reminding yourselves of why you got married, remembering why you love each other, because during that time you guys are going to be talking, you guys should be clicking, reminiscing and stuff like that, and do something fun. Remember why that person's your best friend. Remember why you fell in love. Now for us, most of the time we wind up just talking about the kids mostly, which is funny because we try to get away from the kids to have time together. Then we wind up talking about the kids. Are we the only ones that do that? Do you guys do that? It's funny. But either way, it's necessary and we love it. It's something to look forward to every year. We wind up missing the kids and the kids wind up missing us, and then you just feel rejuvenated. Like I can go another year. All right, we can do this. We always feel rejuvenated after every vacation, every time. So try to find time to do that. All right. Let's talk about homeschooling. I want to try to help you think about things you can do to help your homeschool life run a little bit smoothly. Now, don't get it twisted. There's some times where stuff gets jumbled up, and I feel like I'm about to start going through mommy burnout. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I can relate. I know how it feels to get to that certain part of the year when it's just like, oh my God, I don't want to do this no more. I feel like just enrolling them in public school, or my kid is frustrating me because I feel like she's doing this on purpose or he's doing this on purpose. I know he knows how to do this. Why won't he just do it? And you just don't want to do it anymore. Or maybe the kids are just as frustrated as you are. They're over it. You're over it. And it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I'm going to try to help you figure out how to work that out so you don't suffer through what I like to call mommy burnout. One of the things is limiting the time, scheduling only a block of time for homeschool. Because if it just drags on and on and on, oh my God, you and the kid is going to hate it. Homeschooling can be done within 3 to 4 hours. For us, it takes about 4 hours because we have such a vast variety of different grades and ages, to work through. But we begin at a certain time of the day and we end at a certain time of the day. It's important to have that block schedule and not to go beyond that, because not only are your kids going to be burnt out and not feel like doing it, you will be burnt out and not feel like doing it, and you won't get anything else done in your house because you'll be stuck in homeschool and no one's going to enjoy it or like it, and after a while the kid's just going to shut down and not learn, and you're going to shut down and not want to teach. Allow a certain allotted time for homeschooling, and things that don't get done then can be done later or the next day. Just learn how to work that time out. We have certain things to help us get through the week, one of which are Easy Mondays, where we kind of just review and or do worksheets. It's not necessarily so structured that day. We read, do worksheets, do a couple of fun activities and reviews and things like that. We also have something called Fun Fridays, where we do have class, but we just shorten it a little bit. And I have something that I do called the school store. And in the school store, we have class dollars. Class dollars are the incentives to learn and behave well in class.
But you want to earn fruit bucks? No.
And those were a game changer. So I created class dollars for our homeschool. And if they answer their worksheets, they get 100%. They do well in class, show manners, come to class on time, then they get class dollars. At the end of the week on Fun Friday, they get to cash those class dollars in, and they're able to get a prize from my little school store. My school store consists of things I get from the Dollar Tree, holiday clearances like Christmas, Easter clearance, Valentine's Day clearance. They have like stuff that comes in like a pack of whistles, or that you could break up, and they can buy one of those whistles for like $2 class dollars or whatever. Either way, those are the incentives to keep the kids locked in and focused in class, and to actually behave well and to do well in class. We also read before class starts, and that helps knock out reading time from being later on or dragging class out, longer than it has to be. Some things that you can do that can help you out as the parent homeschooling is you can join a co-op group. Take some of the load off yourself. There are other homeschool groups within your community that one family might teach math, and you can send your kid over there to learn math for his or her grade level. The library always has things going on that your kid can attend to and mingle with other kids that they can do there. There's virtual classes. There are virtual co-ops and virtual homeschool classes that your kid can take. Some are free. which is a money saver, and take some of the load off of you. You can also get like a curriculum. Me personally, I use Rebecca for my older ones. But for my pre-K and my first graders, my kindergartners, I actually create my own curriculum, which is where I came up with Creative Kinders. So, what I did when it came to creating my own curriculum, was that I looked online for the overall criteria and milestones for each age and what they should be doing at certain ages and certain points, what they should learn, what they should know. I viewed the state requirements and for the grade levels, and what they should know in certain grades. I actually Googled Ivy League schools, and I looked up the curriculums and what they were learning and teaching in the Ivy League schools. I also looked up in other countries, and the countries that had the best rankings as far as education levels. You'd be surprised. Finland, like, anyway, but so I looked up how they educated their kids and the strategies and techniques and stuff. I used my own graphic design skills to create my own worksheets. And mind you, I've actually been teaching in the education field for about 14 years, and I've homeschooled for 8 years. So I've used all this that I've learned and everything that I've researched, and I started coming up with my own worksheets. A friend of mine convinced me, you should sell these, because so many parents would ask me, can you teach my kid? Can you educate my kid? Help me, I'll pay you, I'll do this. I'm just like, I really can't, because I'm doing so many with my own. I have all these different grades I'm working on now. So I came up with Creative Kinders as a platform to help other parents educate their children as well, from pre-K to first grade. So now let's talk about the elephant in the room. How do we afford all these kids? For one, let's talk about affording homeschool. Because for us, I'm currently homeschooling 5 children. And that is ranging from pre-K to 6th grade. And they're all pretty like staggered about and everything. So they all need certain things and whatnot. So how do we fund it all? We have bake sales to start off to buy our books. At the end of the school year, there are certain places that'll have book sales, or curriculum sales, because it's heading towards the end of the school year. And what you can do is grab all you can for the following school year. And to fund that, we actually have a bake sale every year. We call it Baking for Books. And you wouldn't believe the support we have, that people come out. The girls bake themselves. I am not a great baker at all. I am a phenomenal cook. Don't get me wrong. But I am not a baker. My children, on the other hand, can bake. So they do all the baking. We actually have returning customers. They have fan favorites that they come back and get. We don't put any set prices on the baked goods. We just take donations. We don't want anyone to feel like they're forced to give a certain amount, or anyone to feel bad that they can't afford to give more than they would like to. So we just go based off donations, take as much as you want, and just donate as much as you can or as much as you want. And we just, work it out that way. And we always come up with enough money, and that's a blessing. We always come up with enough money to buy our books for the following year. As far as materials needed for homeschool, classroom materials, materials just to work throughout the year, like crafting, and school materials, pens, paper, whatever. We go to the Dollar Tree. Walmart always has great back to school sales as far as classroom materials. You just have to go early. Like, you have to go. Now they start putting the stuff out in like July or late July, the beginning of August. If you go around that time, you can snatch stuff up. They have boxes of crayons for $1. Like, well, at least where we stay. And I think most of the Walmarts are like that. Huge sales at Walmart, Dollar Tree, awesome. Salvation Army, Goodwill. You won't believe the stuff you can find in there that you can use for your classroom. Like, especially during school time, because they roll things out. Like when school starts back up. Talked about the curriculum sales. They have curriculum sales at the end of the following school year, of the end of the school year, you start seeing curriculum sales throughout, because people are just trying to get rid of their inventory or whatever. But you can buy what you need for the following school year at a lower discounted price. The library is a huge. We go there and get books for reading. And whatnot. Field trips. There are a bunch of free field trips that you can find in your area, or that you can turn into a field trip. When we talk about budgeting and managing money for my older girls, oh, you're going to go grocery shopping. You're going to have a certain amount of money that you can spend here, and you have to work that out and get everything on this list. And that is just not only a life lesson, but it also teaches them how to budget, divide, multiply, add, subtract, all that just in that field trip alone. Like, you could turn things into field trips. And plus they get out the house, so they'll be happy regardless. Libraries are free, parks are free. There's certain like town museums that are free, nature centers. You would be so surprised with a quick Google search what you can do. If there's something that you can't teach, you won't believe the wealth of knowledge that's online these days. My daughter is currently taking art classes online that cost only $10, and she's learning so much. There are also free college courses that you can link with your homeschooler. If they're in high school, you can actually take college courses for free through high school. Every state is different. Most of them do it. Check it. It's mostly community colleges that have this connecting thing they have going on. I suggest you try it out. If you have someone in high school, try that out. You'll be surprised. Almost every almost every community college offers that to high schoolers, and I suggest that you look in your area and try that out. Definitely. Now, let's talk about just family needs. As far as food and clothing and stuff like that or whatever, one way you could save money and that you could be able to afford to feed this huge family of yours is people coupon. I am not great at couponing, but people do it, and they come up with like mega sales that is out of this world. I don't know, but you can look on YouTube, and there are all sorts of people out there that's telling you how to work them coupons, honey. I'm telling you, and I don't know how they do it, but they get it done. There's certain stores that are just like that you can go to, like Save a Lot, and I don't know. There's all kind of stores you can go to where you can get food for cheap. There's something here called Byler's, and they sell food for cheap. Now, full disclosure, some of them are like on the verge of expiration, so you're gonna have to use that stuff fast. Nonetheless, you will save money and it will feed your family. Doesn't have mold on it or anything. Just saying. Clothing, everyone. I am not too good for hand-me-downs. Most of the time, people are not going to give you horrible clothing. Like, you know what I mean? At least I would hope not. So that's one way you can clothe everyone. If you have more than one, older kids, and they have clothes that aren't too tattered or a bunch of holes or stains, they can get handed down right to the next kid, and then hand it down to the next kid, and then hand it down to the next kid. You know what I mean? As long as they're in good shape, of course. I'm not too good for hand-me-downs. There's the Goodwill. They're constantly having sale. Man, they have something called $2 Tuesdays sometimes, where the kids' clothes are $1. You can't beat that. Salvation Army has sales throughout the week where it's like color-coded, where if you go on a certain day, the clothes are 50% off, which you'll want to pay like $2 for, shoes and whatnot. There are consignment sales. There's something around here called Once Upon a Child, where you can get like name brand clothes for cheap. Some of that stuff is mostly new. Same thing with the Goodwill. They always have like things that look brand new at the Goodwill. Because you have places like Walmart and Target and stuff, and they'll just like donate things that didn't sell or whatever to these places, and you can rack up on one of those like 50% off sales or $2 Tuesdays or whatnot. I'm telling you. Also, we came up with, well, I can't really say that, it's not my idea, but I've heard someone recommend an envelope system, and I don't know if you know what that is, but allow me to explain. Now, the envelope system is where you put a little bit of money away at a time to achieve certain goals financially that you want to hit. Now, I mentioned about earlier about taking family vacations. And it's just like, oh my God, how can we afford family vacation? There's so many of us. Well, allow me to explain. What we do is, for instance, this is our envelope, okay? When we have spare change, loose dollars, even sometimes the kids be like, Mom, can you put this in the envelope for this or whatever? We have family vacation envelope system where all your loose dollars or whatever you want to put in there at that time will go into these envelopes. You want to go to the movies. There's so many of you. It's hard to take everyone to the movies, right? I mean, $8, $9, $12 a pop, and it's 7 of you. Oh no, going to the movies is a special event in this house. So what you do is every now and then just put a couple of dollars in here, $5 here, $1 there. It adds up. And when you hit a certain goal, take your little envelope and pack your little kids up, and y'all go ahead to the movies and have a gay old time, okay? So that's one way. Homeschool fun. Put money in there throughout the year. By the time homeschool hits, you'll have your money to go hit up Walmart and all them sales I was telling you about earlier. Remember date night? How you going to afford date night when you got all these kids? You know how you're going to afford it? Because you're going to have like $60 that you done tucked away for months at a time. Just put $1 here, $5 there, $10 there, whatever you can put in that time. And now you got that money, honey. Remember that whole anniversary thing you had got to, get away for the anniversary? How you going to afford that? Because you've been stashing money away. And you're going to go on that lover's getaway. And you guys going to, rekindle that flame. So, anything that you want to do with your family, fun activities, and more serious note, maybe there's something that came up, a tire blew, something happened, you had a rainy day fund, money that you stashed away for a rainy day. Now the thing about this is you cannot touch this money. This is not just something you put aside to where you could just come through it when you need something in a clutch and over. No, because you have a fund for that. You have the rainy day fund, and that's when something, spontaneously happens, you need money from. Take it from here. Don't keep dipping back in these envelopes and taking money out, because you'll never be able to, have that money for homeschool. You'll never be able to go on that family vacation. You'll never be able to go to the movies with your kid because you kept dipping in the funds. Don't do that. You know what I mean? You're saving up for a new car. You have that new car envelope, that you can go in there and just put money in at a time. You won't believe what you can accumulate in months or a year that can go towards whatever it is. New home fund. I'm not saying you're going to come up with $200,000 for a house in this envelope, but you might come up with $500 in here and get yourself a nice little cheap couch or something for the new home that you plan on getting. I don't know. You know what I mean? This is an important one. Get out of debt fund. Almost everyone has a little something they got to pay off, So this can go towards that. Don't touch it. I can't stress that enough. Don't touch these envelopes until you're ready to use it for that purpose, for whatever that envelope is designated to. I can't stress that enough. Finally, what you need to do is live within your means. So many people are in debt now because they're just swiping those cards, mostly buying things they don't need. Live within your means. Live a nice, humble, simple, minimalistic life. Not only will it be better for your wallet, but it's also better for you, like spiritually, instead of being so consumed with things, So, well, that's about it. I'm really hoping that these tips and tricks were, able to help you in some way, or able to give you some kind of relief, knowing that you're not alone in these stressful moments, knowing that, it's okay to take a day off. The world will not end if you do. Knowing that, I too suffer from mommy burnout, and there's times where you just don't want to homeschool anymore. You're not the only one, and you will get through it. I promise you. Apply some of these things that I've been telling you. It will help your home run a lot smoother. It will give you peace of mind knowing that these things are under control and managed properly, just from scheduling and routine. Just so you can go on these vacations and have these moments with your family, because you now know ways where you can make time. You now know ways where you can afford to take your 5 kids to the movies. The simple things in life, just moments that you'll be able to share. I really hope that, this session was a blessing to you and your family, and that you'll be able to, keep your sanity. Thanks for watching.